Hi everyone, hope you're well. I want to share my ideas about the big storm in London yesterday on the 8th of February 2022. I do feel like it was a really significant event, which will make more sense what it's triggered in the days and weeks to come. Thinking of the storm, one explanation would be that it was just weather, looking at it the scientific way. A second way of looking at big weather events like this is that it results from like a force of energy from the collective subconscious. So everyone's fears and anxieties creating this intense energetic force that needs to be released. And the third idea is that of myths. So the idea that weather is a way of the gods or supernatural forces giving people signs. So, we explain away ancient myths about weather and storms and volcanoes and things as how primitive people who didn't understand science explained the world. And, what if we're wrong about that? And, we know there's more to the world and nature than science can explain. And often it's just that we're not in touch with the signs and symbols and as connected with nature as the ancient people were. So I like that idea of looking at it as well. So then I thought, well, if that's the case, it was giving like signs and for us to listen to. What was the storm telling us? What was its message? So what I observed about it was the evening before the storm, it was very, very still. The actual storm didn't have much rain in it. It was just, in London at least, it was just really, really strong winds for several hours. It's colder today and there's more rain today, the day after, but it was mainly about the wind. So it was moving, just rubbish and dry leaves, and it was taking down dead branches and things off trees. So that's what wind does. Wind moves things and shakes them up and loosens things. And it also tests how strong things that seem fixed really are. So, that can be a metaphor for the world as well at the moment. So I think the storm was to clear the decks. I think it was to pull things out of hands that have been gripped onto really tightly that need to be let go of. And I know we've been through a lot of big changes, but I do think this was a herald of big changes and new things coming in. I think if the winds needed to be that strong and that forceful to remove the old, it was because what's coming in is big and important. So, yeah, watch this space. But that's my take on the storm. Interesting, too, that the red blobs are over the two planet chakra centers, if you look at this map here in England. So the one in the southeast is over the Earth Star chakra, and the one in the southwest is where Glastonbury is, down into Devon and Cornwall. So the fact that they're red, I actually see as positive. I see it, both chakras sent out a big surge of energy, empowered energy out to the world. Okay, so interesting to look at that map there. Then I pulled a card and got the Ace of Swords. So I asked, can you explain what this storm was for? And the Ace of Swords is a really positive card. It's the sword in the stone. King Arthur here pulling that sword out of the stone. It's always a breakthrough. Ace of Swords usually means, if you're reading for a person, that they've endured trouble and hardship and they might be feeling down and depressed about it. But through that hardship, they learn lessons, really valuable lessons, and victory follows. That's what's represented by the sword. So it is saying life will and is getting back on track. The sword always symbolises justice, and on the bottom of the deck, actually, when I pulled this card, was the Justice card. So, justice. The story of the sword in the stone, Merlin the wizard, there's definitely strong Merlin energy around at the moment. So he might be a good one to tune into for guidance. So Merlin was a wizard and he put the sword into the stone. And I was looking up the story and it said that that was in Westminster. So he put this, yeah, in a churchyard in Westminster, which is exactly where I've been doing a lot of healing and where I think the center of the Earth Star Chakra energy is. So, anyway, when Arthur pulls that sword from the stone, there's an inscription on it which says, "Whoever pulls this from the stone is the rightful King of England." And loads of people try and can't do it, but he does. Okay, the sword was magic. So, I think the moral here is from that story that there are powers greater than us, and it's about magic and fate and destiny. So, also another moral is by Arthur pulling that sword from the stone, he agrees with that sword to pursue justice. Um, Back on the Merlin energy, I'm just feeling that that came in on the full moon. So, the 16th of February last week, full moon energy. And he's saying it's the sword has been pulled from the stone through the full moon and through the storm, and it's about to unleash some real magic. So the message today is believe in magic. Okay, let's see how this pans out then over the coming week. Take care, everyone, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.